All right, we're going to talk about the ridiculous notion of overpopulation. So the overpopulation argument is deeply flawed and based on outdated or misleading assumptions. It's very important to understand that this is still being taught today. My niece is going to school to be a midwife. And they're teaching overpopulation, and it's we talk to her about that and how it's, but I mean they're teaching this. This is the subject matter in state universities, right? This is a serious I think people understand that the overpopulation myth is wrong, and they still teach it anyway. It's just not based in science. It certainly is not. So here's why. Declining birth rates. Many countries, especially in the West and parts of Asia, are experiencing population decline, not overpopulation. Birth rates are well below replacement levels in places like Japan, South Korea, and much of Europe. And that's the thing too. For Dr. Michelle Dow, the person who is guilty of killing babies, right? Well, we say, well, the population is going up. Well, sure, but where are they coming from? Of course, it's from immigration. It's not from birth rates. Birth rates are dropping, plummeting. Like a plane falling from the sky. This crisis is the most serious wrong that our society has ever experienced, right? So and that's the thing. Where is it going? It's plummeting down to the ground. It's plummeting down to zero. So you can just imagine an airplane. Lots of airplanes falling out of the sky recently. I don't know if you've seen that. There's like a whole bunch. Yeah, there was one in Azerbaijan. There's one in South Korea. There's one in the Philippines. There's one in Toronto, Canada. Just recently, the year I'm recording this in 2025. But anyway, just not really relevant. But there was another one, I forget where, but lots and lots of airplanes plummeting from the sky, just like the birth rate. So the birth rates where are the birth rates going? Well, down to zero, right? And that's where Acadie, which is the Acadian population, it's going to be either 100%, there's assimilation, or the Acadian culture and heritage will continue to plummet down to zero, so that the culture will die. The Clare language has a unique dialect similar to French. It uses it's like a type of Creole type of French or whatever, but it's Acadian French. It's Clare's own language that will certainly die. Um, but that's not important compared to the actual men and women who are um, the conception rate is not going down, but the birth rate is. Why? Because Dr. Michel Dow and other abortionists will kill the baby in the womb of the mother. Right. So there's more resources than ever. Food production, technology, and infrastructure have expanded exponentially. World hunger is more about distribution and policy failures than actual scarcity. So everybody could be eating for free. There's no type of problem with agriculture or anything like that. Everybody in the world could be, food is a basic necessity of life. Water. There's no reason that we can't be drinking pure, clean water and all that stuff. Um, Steam distillation will be a very and a very good method to clean any type of dirty water and all this stuff. So there's no need. It's just about policies rather than actual problems with agriculture. Urban overcrowding is not overpopulation. Just because cities feel crowded doesn't mean the world is overpopulated. The entire Earth's population could fit in Texas with a density similar to major cities. Anti-human ideology. The overpopulation myth often promotes the idea that humans are a plague rather than the world's most valuable resource. Every human mind is a potential innovator, problem solver, and contributor to society. Well, that is, unless you're talking about people like abortionists, like Dr. Michelle Dow. She's a drain on society, a serious drain on society, getting wealthy from killing babies and all this stuff. We should we should not. have the idea that every human mind is an asset, but certainly the vast majority of small boys and small girls are the world's most valuable resource, and she certainly would have been. I mean, she's not she had the potential to be, like we said in the other video. She could have been a neurosurgeon, but she chose to be an abortionist. So Malthus here was wrong. The 18th century economist Thomas Malthus um, predicted that population growth would outstrip food production, leading to mass starvation. Instead, technological advances have allowed more people to be fed than ever before in history. So the aging population crisis, yeah, so that is a significant burden, right? So many countries now will face the opposite problem: not enough young people to support aging populations. This is why some governments are paying people to have children. Right? Some governments are paying people to smart governments are paying people to have children, while this kind of wishy-washy society that Clare, Nova Scotia, yeah, is they're being ran by fools. Um, and they are paying people to kill children. It's I am certainly not going to be funding the tax system that will pay for the retirement plan of Dr. Michel Maridas. That's certainly not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to pay money for the taxes. So that's why I don't have any kind of I had property in Clare, a whole bunch of land, more land than I will ever be able to even see with a drone or whatever. You can send drones for hours and hours and see. I own so much land, and I sold it. I sold it because why? Because there's so many problems and everything like that. Nonsense, headaches, real headaches. And the number one headache is that I have to pay, and it was just like a small amount per hectare. It's just a small amount, per hectare. I think it was like 50 cents or something like that per hectare. But I don't want my 50 cents per how many hectares did I own? I don't know, so many hectares. Um, Even that small amount of money, there is a percentage. There's a percentage of my dollar going to abortions and funding the retirement plan of abortionists and all this stuff. I certainly do not agree, and it is my choice and my educated belief that this is certainly a wrongdoing. It's certainly a wrongdoing. And so again, governments are paying people to have children, right? They're giving incentives and benefits and tax cuts, while some government, like in Clare, Nova Scotia, the municipal government is paying. They're funding LGBTQRSTUVWXY and Z. Their flag raising ceremonies at the city hall and at the high school, right? These types of their pride parades, floats at the Acadian Heritage at the Acadian Heritage Festival in July. They have a float with the pride and all the stuff. It's a topic for another day, but they are actively funding the killing of the next generation. So I can't be on board with that. So the real agenda: overpopulation fear is often pushed by wealthy elites who want to control populations rather than empower them. It has historically been used to justify coercive policies, forced sterilization, and even eugenics program. And I don't want to start getting into the fringe conspiracy theories, but I mean there are documented cases where these people, they're very very rich guys, want to get involved in eugenics, right? The eugenics is what, right? Promoting the growth of a certain cultural heritage or background or ethnicity, while basically sterilizing another population or something like that. So they get to choose. Basically, what Dr. Dow is doing, they're playing God. They're playing Jesus and God, and they are literally killing people. They're killing people. I mean that's all eugenics is. At the end of the day, they are killing people where they don't have any kind of They don't have any business to do that. So the myth harms the poor. Overpopulation rhetoric is often used to discourage economic development in poorer nations, keeping them dependent rather than allowing them to grow their economies and raise living standards. So the bottom line is overpopulation is not a real crisis, but the lack of children and population collapse will be one. It will be, the worst crisis that the world has ever known. Um, Killing babies is wrong. That's all for today. I'll see you.